Yo! It's been a while. I have CADs, but I'm gonna make another video for that another time. I am doing this because I have about 19 hours to get this in, so I'm just gonna go and get it done. This is my response to Mickey for his thing, his contest, his draft party thing. I did the entire first round. If you guys don't feel like watching this video, go ahead and click off it. I don't give a shit. It's just, have a day off, and I felt like doing it, so if you don't like it, you can suck it. What a pair for the win. It's a mess. But, kick back, grab a drink, brought to you by Coca-Cola. And, yeah, let's start this thing. Okay, now, this is what I would do if I was the GM of all 32 teams. If there were no trades, which I know is going to happen, there's going to be trades. But this is what I would do if there was no trades. It's team needs or best available, whatever the case. And, yeah, let's get this thing started. Pick number uno. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's two ways you can go. Quarterback-wise, obviously, Jameis Winston or that other guy, Marcus Mariota. And I am giving them Jameis Winston. I watched his pro day, and he looked awesome. So I think if they don't take Jameis Winston tomorrow, I don't know what to say. So yeah, Jameis Winston, number one overall. Number two, Tennessee Titans. Obviously, I have a strong feeling that number two is going to be Marcus Mariota. Obviously, we don't know who. There's still talks that the Titans might take him. There's talks that Cleveland will take him, which I swear to God, I hope we don't. I think San Diego has been in talks. I've heard things of St. Louis, which I would just ride with Nick Foles. Like, why would you? I don't get that. You know, there's just, and obviously the Eagles, and, you know, there's just, I've heard things, but I am not doing any of that. I do not have Marcus Mariota going number two, and I think the Titans would be complete idiots if they pass up on Leonard Williams. I think he's the only sure thing in this entire draft, if you ask me. They need a playmaker, because all they really have is Jarrell Casey and Michael Griffin on defense. I don't really know the Titans team, so if there's more guys than that, I apologize. But those are the only two guys that I can name offhand, I think. Yeah. So I'm giving them the best defensive player in the draft, if you ask me. And like I said, I think he will be a huge force at whatever team he goes to. Number three, a little bit different here. A lot of people are giving the Jaguars an edge rusher. The Jaguars actually had a very good run defense last year. I got to see several of their games. They completely shut down Cleveland. I mean, granted, we weren't nothing special, but they completely stopped us. But I am going with Iowa offensive tackle Brandon Scherff for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know they have Luke Joeckel, but Blake Bortles needs to stay on his feet. They need to keep Blake Bortles up. And if they're serious about Blake Bortles being the team leader, you need to protect your quarterback. And I think Brandon Scherff, whatever it is, I think he is the best offensive lineman in the draft. And I would go Brandon Scherff if he was there. He should be there. But my main priority is keeping Blake Bortles safe, because God knows what can happen. So Brandon Scherff number three. Number four, I was bouncing back and forth here between Amari Cooper and Kevin White. I think Kevin White is the best wide receiver in the draft, but you know, there's so much hype around Cooper, and you know, he had like 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns last year, and he's just a hell of a player. So I think the Raiders are going to go Amari Cooper. Could go Kevin White, but I still see it being... if now this is going to throw me off. Me personally, if I had to pick between Amari Cooper or Kevin White, I'm taking Kevin White. But I think the Raiders are still going to go with Amari Cooper, just because it's Amari Cooper. But yeah, Cooper number 4. Number 5. Now this is where Brandon Scherf is talking about going a lot. I've seen quite a few mock drafts that have him going 5 overall to the Redskins. I think they need help defensively, and I am giving them outside linebacker, defensive end, Dante Fowler from Florida. I think he's a little overhyped, if you ask me. I think he's undersized to play defensive end, but I don't think he's good enough to play linebacker. I think that's what I read. I got like 7 magazines leading up for the draft, and pretty much all of them say the same thing. But I think this pick is really not going to pay off for the Redskins if they take Fowler. Obviously, there's other guys available: Vic Beasley, Bud Dupree, all those guys. But I'm going Dante Fowler, number 5. Number 6, New York Jets. There's many ways you can go here. You can go Mariota. I see a ton of people taking wide receivers, either Kevin White or Devontae Parker at number 6, and I'm just kind of thinking, like, why? I saw Trey Waynes there at number 6 for cornerback. I mean, they're loaded at corner. They got Darrelle Revis, Antonio Cromartie. They got Buster Screen from Cleveland. They still have Shaq Evans and the McDougal guy, Dexter McDougal, from the draft last year. Like they got a good little squad there. And who knows what McDougal and Evans are going to do, but they got Buster Screen playing nickel, which I already know Buster Screen's going to be a goddamn stud for them, and it pisses me off that we let him go. But I have them shoring up their edge rushing because I saw another thing today where the Jets are talking about trading Sheldon Richardson. Why? I don't know why. Because he's an animal. I think he's one of the top 5 defensive ends in the league, if you ask me. But I have them taking Vic Beasley, who I think is going to be awesome, if you ask me. And that'll give them more depth in their front 7, which I'm pretty sure they need help on, but I'm not. Because I'm not an expert. I don't think I am. I'm reading a lot of books, a lot of internet reports of what teams need and whatnot. So a lot of them say that they need outside linebacker, defensive end help. So I'm giving them Vic Beasley. Number 7, Chicago Bears. There's many ways they can go with this. Their defense needs help. Their offense needs help. They have Jay Cutler at quarterback. I was tempted to put Mariota there just to piss Mickey off, but I decided not to put Mariota there. And they lost Brandon Marshall, obviously, for whatever reason they traded him. There's a report that Martellus Bennett may be on the block. So I really don't know what the Bears are doing. But if I'm them, I am taking Kevin White. Because it's Kevin White. I think he's the best receiver in the draft. He can be their possession guy. He could be a deep threat. He could be anything they want. They need him to be. I still have Alshon Jeffrey. So I am definitely going with Kevin White. Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons. They need front 7 help severely. Williams is off the board. Fowler, Beasley, they're off the board. So I'm giving them the next best available. I think there's 2 guys better than this guy still, but they're going to drop in draft due to injuries and just personal stuff. But I am giving them Bud Dupree, the outside linebacker, defensive end from Kentucky. I don't really know much about this guy. All I know is that he just shot up draft boards after the combine. So Bud Dupree becomes their John Abraham-like player coming off the edge. Number 9. This is where I was stuck with the New York Giants because they signed Jeff Schwartz. Justin Pugh is still a piece of shit. Their defense is just in ruins. They lost several key players, if you ask me. I talked to Ben about this already, and they need front seven help. They need secondary help. There's talks of them taking a wide receiver. I don't know why, because I think Victor Cruz could still come back and be something decent. Who knows if he'll be Victor Cruz again. But they still have OBJ. They still have Ruben Randall. They signed Dwayne Harris, so maybe he might be a good number 4 guy. Why are you looking at wide receiver? So I conversed with Ben, and they need secondary help because Prince is coming off an injury, and Rogers Cromartie is just as hot and cold as anybody in the league. 1 week he's on fire, the next week he's giving up 200 yards. So I am giving them Trey Waynes, cornerback from Michigan State. I saw a lot of this kid because being in Ohio, I got the Big Ten Network, and he pretty much shut everybody down. So Trey Waynes, number 9. Number 10, St. Louis Rams. Now, their defense is ridiculous. I think they have a good quarterback in Nick Foles. I think they have a decent receiving core with Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey, and Jared Cook at tight end. I think Trey Mason could be a good running back. They have another running back. Zach Stacy. I think they need offensive line help as much as anybody in this league because they couldn't keep Sam Bradford healthy, and if they can't keep Nick Foles healthy, that's going to be an issue. So there's a lot of talk about this guy. Maybe he's a little too high. But Andrews Pete, the offensive tackle from Stanford, guy's got tree trunk legs, but they're not solid. he's a little fat guy. But shout out to the fat guys. They need help on the offensive line. They need Andrews Pete. Number 11, Minnesota Vikings. I witnessed an entire 2 seasons of Mike Gathman complaining about Matt Khalil, and Matt Khalil is awful. So I'm getting his replacement in Eric Flowers, so they can move Khalil down into guard or whatever, to the bench, wherever they want to put him. I think Flowers could be a decent offensive lineman. He could play tackle or guard. So maybe you get a good offensive lineman here for you, because I know you took Khalil at what? 4, I think? It was 4th overall, I believe. But hopefully Eric Flowers could do you guys some good. Number 12, Cleveland Browns. Now, we signed Dwayne Bowe. We signed Brian Hartline. We have Andrew Hawkins. We have Taylor Gabriel. 4 decent receivers. Well, Travis Benjamin as well, but I am taking Devontae Parker because I think Devontae Parker could blossom into a very, very good number 1 wide receiver, or number 2 for that even, if Dwayne Bowe goes back to being Dwayne Bowe. I want the wide receiver position to be solidified, because our offensive line, all we really need is help on the right side, unless Mitchell Schwartz gets his head out of his ass. If he plays like he did his rookie year, we'll be okay. But if he plays like he did last year, that's why I was stuck between him and going elsewhere. But really, all the offensive linemen are gone, except a couple guys. But I didn't want to reach. But knowing us, we're gonna trade up to number 2 with Marcus Mariota, because that's just what the fuck we do, and we're idiots. So if I was Ray Farmer, and Devontae Parker was on the board, I'm taking Devontae Parker. 13, New Orleans Saints. Now, they need help defensively. I don't know. And also, I don't know if I'm not all caught up with the free agent signings and whatnot. So if these teams sign people to fill these positions that I'm drafting for, well, then just fuck me, right? I'm an idiot. But I work a lot. I have a life. I don't, I'm not making it out to be a bad thing, but I'm not all caught up with everything. I don't know who went where and whatnot. I know the main guys like Sue and whatnot. But if these positions have been filled, don't yell at me. But They need help up front, if you ask me. And I think they're going to take a risk and take Randy Gregory, defensive end from Nebraska. I think Randy Gregory was the best defensive player in the draft about 3 months ago. And then all this stuff started happening. So I think they're going to take a chance and go on Randy Gregory. Number 14, Miami Dolphins. They lost Mike Wallace. They need wide receiver help. They lost Brian Hartline as well. I am giving them Jalen Strong, who I think is kind of underrated. I mean, they're kind of rating him late first, early second. I think he's first-round talent. I think he's the fourth best wide receiver. So I'm giving them Jalen Strong. Number 15, San Francisco 49ers. They need middle linebackers. They need offensive help. They need secondary help. They lost Chris Culver and Parrish Cox. So I'm giving them Kevin Johnson, the cornerback from Wake Forest, I think. Yeah. Houston Texans, they need a replacement for Andre Johnson. I'm kind of picking this up because I only got like 25 minutes to do this. Houston Texans, they need a guy to replace Andre Johnson. Rashad Perriman. He's huge. He's a deep threat. It's Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson Jr. 17, San Diego Chargers. They need running backs. I'm giving them Todd Gurley from Georgia. Saw a couple drafts the other day of us taking Todd Gurley at 12, and I just got so mad. But Todd Gurley to 17 of the Chargers. 18, Kansas City Chiefs. Went with a little bit of a reach here because I don't know. I just did it. They lost Dwayne Bowe. Their wide receivers didn't catch a single touchdown last year. I'm giving them Dorial Green Beckham. Or whatever the hell his name is. So, yeah, a little bit of a reach, but I think the kid could be a stud. He was number one recruit a few years ago. You know, how bad can the kid really... I mean, yeah, he's got issues, but I think Green Beckham's going to turn around. Number 19. Us again. Follow this guy on Instagram. I want this guy on my team so bad. I want Danny Shelton, the defensive tackle from Washington. I've been seeing him shoot up draft boards a little bit, even creeping up into the top 10. I hope he falls. If we get Devontae Parker at 12, I hope he falls. I mean, I doubt it'll happen. But Danny Shelton's highly regarded. So, Danny Shelton, 19, us. 20, Philadelphia Eagles, Marcus Mariota. No, I'm kidding. Not Marcus Mariota, he's still on the board. But number 20, the Eagles went 1-3 in their final 4 games. And I believe they gave up the most passing yards in those 4 games. So they need cornerback help, and I'm giving them who I think is the second best cornerback on the board. Marcus Peters from Washington. I think he's going to be great. I think he'd be big help for them because they need it. And that's that. 21, Cincinnati Bengals. Now, they need front 7 help. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to do something that they did a few years ago. Now, there was a guy a few years ago named Vontaze Burfict, who initially, his talent was in the first round. But because of his attitude, and he had a slow 40 time, he went undrafted, and they picked him up, and he made Pro Bowl his first year. Yeah, he's an ankle twister, but that's another story. Vontaze Burfict is a beast. And this guy is dropping because he has a foot injury. I think this guy's going to come back, and he's going to be a beast for them. Because Bengals just seem to take shots on guys who have question marks, and it seems to pay off. So they will be taking outside linebacker Shane Ray from Missouri, and he's going to be a stud. Bank it. Pittsburgh Steelers, they lost Polamalu, they lost Ike Taylor, they lost... Fuck the Steelers, I don't care about them. But they're going to be looking for Polamalu's replacement. They will take their chance on Landon Collins, the safety from Alabama. And I will forever continue to hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. And any player that comes from Alabama. Number 23, the Detroit Lions. There's a couple different options. They need a running back. They could go Melvin Gordon. They need... Or did they get a running back? I don't know. They have options. I went with Eric Armstead, the defensive line from Oregon, just shoring up their front seven, making them more solidified. So I don't like the Lions either. So yeah, Arizona Cardinals. This is the controversial pick. Arizona Cardinals at pick 24 take Marcus Mariota. Let me explain myself. They have Carson Palmer. He's like 35. Educated guess. He's getting up there in age. He got hurt. Had Drew Stanton. I don't think Drew Stanton's any good. I don't think Logan Thomas is any good. So they get their quarterback of the future, maybe, in Marcus Mariota. I mean, to me, it's a perfect fit, if you ask me. He can learn behind Carson Palmer. He can throw to Larry Fitzgerald. Whoever else they got down there, Michael Floyd, Troy Nicholas. I don't know if he's their tight end, but they have. I think Mariota would be a perfect fit in Arizona. 3,000 miles away from Cleveland. Carolina Panthers, they need offensive line help. This guy can play all 5 positions. From Florida State, I'm going Cameron Irving. Cam Newton has been sacked the most out of any quarterback, or has been knocked down the most out of any quarterback by like 200. Like, it's insane how many times Cam Newton has been hit. So I'm taking an offensive lineman to shore them up. Baltimore Ravens, they got Justin Forsett back. They need a corner to help with Jimmy Smith. I don't know if Ladarius Webb is still there, but he's starting to tail off a little bit. I'm giving them P.J. Williams, also from Florida State. 27, Dallas Cowboys. Melvin Gordon. I think he's the best running back in the draft, if you ask me. I think Todd Gurley is going to be severely injury-prone. But Dallas Cowboys get there. I mean, I think Joseph Randle should start personally because I'm kind of biased and I like Joseph Randle. But I think Melvin Gordon is going to be awesome in the NFL if he gets a good offensive line. He gets it here. Denver Broncos, they need linebacker help. DeMarcus Ware's a little old. Von Miller's, I mean, he's a good player, but he gets hurt. And so I'm going Shaq Thompson from Washington to the Denver Broncos. Indianapolis Colts, they need offensive line help. They need defense help. They got Frank Gore. They got Andre Johnson. Now they got to protect Andrew Luck. They're going to take a chance on a guy who's in a little... He's a suspect, I guess, or not a suspect. He's being questioned. But they will take a chance on Lyle, the Collins dude from LSU, the offensive lineman, and shore up their offensive line. Green Bay Packers need linebackers. They lost A.J. Hawk. I only know about Clay Matthews, so I don't know who else is there, but everyone says they need linebacker help. So they get Eric Kendricks from UCLA. Seahawks get Malcolm Brown from defensive tackle to replace Kevin Williams, I think. He's been there for like 15 years. He's going to retire soon. Malcolm Brown, steal of the draft at 31 for the Seahawks. And then the Patriots take Eddie Goldman. I believe he's a defensive lineman. They could go wide receiver, like Devin Smith, but I'm giving them Eddie Goldman. And then I did the next 6 rounds for the Browns, just for the hell of it. Round 2, wide receiver tight end Devin Funchess. He could be our receiving tight end while we have, what's his face from Hausler. He could block for us. Round 3, offensive tackle Ben Havenstein. Hopefully to be Mitchell Schwartz's replacement, because I don't trust him. Round 4, we go dual linebacker, back-to-back pick, or there's 1 pick and then like 3 picks in between, and then us again. Tywan Jones from Michigan State and Stephon Anthony from Clemson. We need middle linebacker help, because all we have is Craig Robertson and Carlos Dansby and Chris Kirksey, but we need depth because our guys don't stay healthy. Round 5, I think this guy won't be there, but who knows. Round 5, I'm taking cornerback Ronald Darby just for depth, because our corners don't stay healthy either. Round 6, I am taking another linebacker for depth purposes, outside linebacker. I saw this guy play for 4 years. I love the kid. Jake Ryan from Michigan. Love Jake Ryan. Jake Ryan and Desmond Morgan were like 2 of my favorite players on the team. And then I'm also taking Saquon Edwards from New Mexico in round 6, who could play corner or safety. And what's his face? Jim Leonard retired, so we need more depth. And then round 7, I'm taking a kicker because Garrett Hartley wasn't very good in a dome, and he's not going to do very good in a full season in Cleveland where winds are 30, 40 miles an hour. So I'm kicking Garrett Hartley to the curb, and I'm taking Kyle Brinza from Notre Dame for my kicker. That's it. Let me know if I'm an idiot. It's probably true. But this is what I would do if I was the GM for all 32 teams and got to pick everyone's pick in the draft. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm dumb or not. I don't care. I just did this because it's fun, and I like fun. So yeah, I'll see you all later. Browns, don't trade up to number 2. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.